I sent her everything I had left, every dollar, every month, because she told me her family was starving. I ate ramen. I skipped my medications. I couldn't even afford to visit my own daughter. Then one day, I typed her name wrong on Facebook, and I found her, the real her. Bikinis, beach resorts, bottles of champagne, a different guy in every photo. While I was eating 50-cent noodles in Miami, she was living like a queen. It was 2 a.m. when I found her. I couldn't sleep. Again, I was lying in my studio apartment in Miami, staring at the ceiling, listening to my neighbor's TV through the thin walls. The AC was broken, and I couldn't afford to fix it. Sweat stuck my shirt to my back. I grabbed my phone. I told myself I was just checking the weather, but that's a lie I told myself every night. I opened the dating app, the Filipino one. I'd been scrolling through it for weeks, maybe months. I don't even remember when I downloaded it. After the divorce, probably. After my ex-wife took the house and I ended up here, in this box, with nothing but a pension that barely covered rent. I saw profiles. Dozens of them. Young women. Smiling. Most of them looked fake. AI generated, probably, or bots. But I kept scrolling, because what else was I going to do? Then I saw her. Stephanie, 23 years old. Olongapo, Philippines. Her profile picture showed her standing in front of a small store. A sorry store, I learned later. She wore a faded pink shirt, no makeup, her hair pulled back. And her eyes, God, her eyes looked sad, like she'd been crying, or like she was holding back tears. Her bio said she worked at the store, that she lived with her sick mother, that she was looking for a good man, someone honest, someone kind. I stared at that photo for a long time. Then I sent her a message. Hi, Stephanie. My name is Leonard. I'm from Miami. I saw your profile and I just wanted to say hello. I didn't expect her to reply. Why would she? I'm 63 years old. I'm nobody. But she did. An hour later, my phone buzzed. Hello, Leonard. Thank you for your message. How are you? Her English was broken, simple, but polite. We started chatting. She told me about her life, how her father left when she was 12, how her mother got sick 3 years ago, diabetes, high blood pressure. She couldn't work anymore. Stephanie had to quit school to take care of her. She worked at the store now, 12 hours a day, for maybe 300 pesos. That's about $5, she said. She had 2 younger siblings, a brother, 14, a sister, 10. They couldn't afford to send them to school this year. Last month, a typhoon hit their area. Part of their roof got ripped off. They couldn't fix it. When it rained, water came into the house. She told me all of this over the course of a week. Not all at once, little pieces. Every night, we talked. She asked me about my life. I told her I was divorced, that I used to clean pools, that I was retired now, living alone. She said she was sorry I was lonely. She said I seemed like a good man, a kind man. She said she could tell. I wanted to believe her. I needed to believe her, because for the first time in 5 years, someone was asking me how my day was. Someone cared, even if it was a 23-year-old girl halfway around the world. One night, she sent me a photo. Her little brother, skinny, big eyes, standing in a school uniform that was too small for him. This is my brother. He wants to go back to school, but we cannot pay. I stared at that photo. That kid looked like he hadn't eaten a real meal in weeks. I thought about my own daughter, how I sent her to private school, how I made sure she had everything. And here was this kid who just wanted to learn. I opened my banking app. I had $412 in my account. That had to last me 2 more weeks. But I couldn't stop thinking about that kid. I sent Stephanie $50. For your brother. For school. She didn't reply right away. Then my phone rang. A video call. I answered, and there she was, crying. Her face was red. Her hands were shaking. Leonard, why did you do this? You don't even know me. I wanted to help. You are an angel. You are my angel. Thank you. Thank you so much. She kept crying. I felt something in my chest. something I hadn't felt in years. I mattered. I wasn't just some old guy alone in a studio apartment. I was someone's angel. That night, I lay in bed and I smiled. For the first time in a long time. Over the next few months, Stephanie and I fell into a rhythm, a routine. Every morning, I'd wake up and check my phone. She'd already sent me a good morning message. A Bible verse, usually. Something about blessings, or faith, or God's love. She told me she prayed for me every night, that she thanked God for bringing me into her life. I started sending her money every month, $300. That's what she said would help her family. Rent was $100. Food was another $100. Medicine for her mom was $50. The rest went to her siblings, school supplies, clothes. I could barely afford it. My pension was $900 a month. Rent was $550. That left me with $350 for everything else. But I sent her the $300 every month on the 1st, like clockwork. I cut back everywhere. I stopped going out. Not that I went out much anyway. But I used to grab a beer at the bar down the street once a week. I stopped. I ate pasta, white rice, canned tuna, ramen noodles, the cheap ones, 29 cents a pack. I bought them in bulk. I stopped refilling my blood pressure medication. My doctor told me I needed it, that my numbers were too high, but the refill was $40. I couldn't spare it. I told myself I'd get it next month. Stephanie sent me photos. Her smiling at the market, her little brother in a new school uniform, a selfie with her mother. The old woman looked tired, but she was smiling, and the caption said, "Thank you, Leonard. You saved our family." I printed that photo. I put it on my fridge. Every time I opened the fridge and saw that box of ramen, I looked at that photo, and I felt okay about it. My daughter called me one day. Emily. She lives in Orlando with her husband and their kid. My grandson. I haven't seen him in 2 years. "Dad, are you okay? You sound tired." "I'm fine, sweetheart. Are you eating? Are you taking care of yourself?" Yeah, I'm good." I lied. I didn't want her to worry. She had her own life, her own problems. She didn't need to know her father was eating 50-cent noodles so he could send money to a girl in the Philippines. Because if I told her, she'd ask questions. She'd tell me I was being stupid, and maybe I was, but I didn't care, because every night, Stephanie called me. We'd video chat for an hour, sometimes 2. She'd tell me about her day, about the customers at the store, about her mother's checkup, about how her sister drew a picture of me. She called me Daddy, not in a weird way, in a sweet way, like I was her father, like I was the one taking care of her. "I love you, Daddy." She said it every night before we hung up, and I believed her. I had to believe her, because if I didn't, what did I have? This empty apartment? This broken AC? This life where nobody needed me? No. Stephanie needed me, and that was enough. One night, my phone rang at midnight. I was already asleep, or trying to sleep. The heat made it hard. I saw her name on the screen. "Stephanie." I answered. "Hello?" She was crying, not soft crying, loud, desperate. "Leonard, I'm so sorry to call you. I didn't know who else to call." "What's wrong? What happened?" "My mama. She collapsed. We took her to the hospital. They said her blood sugar is too high. They need to keep her. But we have to pay. $800. We don't have it. I don't know what to do." $800. I opened my banking app. $340. That's all I had. My chest tightened. I felt dizzy. "Leonard, are you there?" "I'm here. I'm here. Let me figure it out. I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have called. I know you already help us so much." "No, don't apologize. I'll figure it out. I'll send it." I hung up. I stared at my phone. $800. Where was I going to get $800? I couldn't ask Emily. She'd ask too many questions. I thought about my credit cards. All maxed out. Then I remembered. Payday loans. Those places on 8th Street. The ones with the neon signs. I'd driven past them 100 times. I never thought I'd walk into one. The next morning, I went. The guy behind the counter didn't even look at me. He just handed me a form. How much? 800. Interest is 29%. You pay back in 2 weeks. If you don't, it rolls over. More interest. Fine. I signed the paper. He gave me the cash. I went home. I sent the money to Stephanie, Western Union. She called me an hour later, still crying. But this time, it was relief. Thank you, Leonard. You saved her life. You saved my mama's life. It's okay. Just make sure she's okay. She is. The doctor said she will be fine. Because of you. I hung up. I felt good, like I did something that mattered. 2 weeks later, her brother got in a motorcycle accident. He wasn't wearing a helmet. He hit his head. They needed $500 for the hospital. I didn't have it. So I took out another loan. A month after that, the roof leaked again. Worse this time. They needed $400 to fix it. I started doing odd jobs. Cleaning pools again, even though I was retired, even though my back hurt, even though I was 63 years old and the Miami heat made me feel like I was going to pass out. I mowed lawns. I painted fences. I did whatever I could. I worked 12-hour days sometimes. My chest hurt. My blood pressure was definitely too high. I could feel it. The headaches. The dizziness. But I couldn't stop, because every time I hesitated, every time I told Stephanie I wasn't sure I could send the money, she went quiet. It's okay, Daddy. I understand. I'll figure it out. And that silence killed me. That quiet acceptance. Like she expected me to let her down. Like everyone else in her life had let her down. So I didn't. I kept sending. I kept working. I kept believing that once things settled down, she'd come visit me. She promised she would. She said she'd apply for a visa. She said we'd finally meet. That we'd walk on the beach. That she'd cook for me. That we'd be together. I just had to hold on a little longer. Just a little longer. I was sitting on my couch one night, eating instant ramen straight from the pot. I didn't even bother with a bowl anymore. What was the point? I was alone. I turned on my laptop. I wanted to check Facebook, see if Stephanie posted anything. I'd bought her a new phone 2 months ago, a decent one. She said her old one was broken, that she couldn't video call me anymore without it freezing. So I sent her $200. She bought a Samsung. She said she loved it, that she'd post photos for me. I opened Facebook. I typed her name in the search bar, but my fingers are fat. I hit the wrong key. Instead of Stephanie, I typed Stephanie. The search results popped up, and there she was. Same face, same girl. But the name was different. Stephanie, not Stephanie. And the profile was public. My stomach dropped. I clicked on it. The first photo. Her in a tight red dress, standing on a rooftop. Manila, the location said. She was holding a cocktail glass, blue liquid, an umbrella in it. She was smiling, laughing. Her hair was done, makeup perfect. The caption said, "Living my best life." I scrolled. Another photo, her on a yacht, white bikini, sunglasses, arms around a guy, young, Filipino, tattoos on his arms. He was kissing her cheek. The caption said, "Blessed, island hopping with Bay." I checked the date, 3 months ago, the same month she told me her mother was in the hospital. The same month I took out a payday loan. I kept scrolling. More photos, a nightclub, bottles of champagne on the table, her and her friends, all dressed up, designer bags, another photo. Boracay, white sand. She was lying on a beach chair. Another guy next to her, different guy. The caption said, "Paradise." I scrolled faster. My hands were shaking. There were dozens of photos, hotels, clubs, restaurants, and then I saw it, a selfie, her holding a stack of cash, pesos, maybe 10,000, maybe more. She was smiling. The caption was in Tagalog. I copied it. I pasted it into Google Translate. It said, "Salamat sa lahat ng taga abroad." Thanks to all my supporters abroad. I read the comments. People laughing. Someone wrote, "May bagong tatay ka na ba?" Google Translate said it meant, "Do you have a new daddy yet?" I closed the laptop. I couldn't breathe. My chest felt like it was being crushed. I opened it again. I stared at the photos, at her smile, at the champagne, at the guys, at the life she was living, while I was eating ramen, while I was skipping my medication, while I was working in the heat until I thought I'd collapse. She was on yachts. She was in clubs. She was living like a queen, and I was the one paying for it. I didn't sleep that night. I couldn't. I just sat there, staring at my phone. At 3 a.m, I opened Messenger. I typed, "I found your other account." I hit send. 3 dots appeared, then disappeared, then appeared again. A minute passed. Finally, she replied, "What are you talking about?" I didn't answer. I took a screenshot of the yacht photo, the one with the guy. I sent it. The dots appeared again, then disappeared. 10 minutes passed. Nothing. Then my phone rang. "Video call," I answered. Her face filled the screen, but it was different. No smile, no tears, just flat, empty. "Leonard, listen. It's not what you think." "Then what is it?" "Those photos are old, from before I met you. The dates say 3 months ago. The dates are wrong. Facebook does that sometimes." "Who's the guy?" She paused. Her eyes shifted. "My friend used my phone. She posted those." "Stephanie. Who is the guy?" Another pause. Longer this time. "He's my cousin." "You're kissing your cousin?" "Filipino families are close. It's normal." I didn't say anything. I just stared at her. She stared back. No tears, no panic, just cold. "Who's the guy, Stephanie?" She let out a breath, like she was annoyed, like I was wasting her time. "He's my boyfriend." The words hit me like a punch. I felt my chest tighten, my throat closed. "How long?" 2 years. "So while I was sending you money?" "Yes." She didn't even hesitate. She just said it. "Yes." "Did you ever care about me? At all?" "Leonard, you're a nice man. You helped me. I'm grateful." "That's not what I asked." "What do you want me to say? That I love you?" "You're 63. I'm 23. Did you really think this was real?" I couldn't answer, because part of me knew. Part of me always knew, but I didn't want to believe it. "You wanted to help me. I didn't force you. You sent the money because you wanted to, because it made you feel good." "I sent the money because you told me your family was dying." "My family is fine. You saw the photos. We're all fine." "The hospital. Your mother. She's fine." I made that up. "The roof. We fixed that 2 years ago." "Your brother. The accident." "He's fine. He's at school right now." Every word was a knife. Every sentence made it worse. I wanted her to yell, to cry, to apologize. But she didn't. She just sat there, calm, casual, like we were talking about the weather. "So what am I to you? Just money?" "You're a client, Leonard. That's what you are. You're one of many." "One of many?" "Yeah. You think you're special? You're not. There are guys like you all over the world, sending money, thinking they found true love. It's a business." I wanted to say something, to yell at her, to call her names, but I couldn't, because she was right. I wasn't special. I was just stupid. "I'm blocking you." "Okay." That's all she said. "Okay." No goodbye. No apology. Just okay. And she hung up. I spent the next 2 days on my laptop. I couldn't move. I couldn't eat. I just sat there, searching. I joined expat Facebook groups, Philippines groups, romance scam groups. I typed her name, Stephanie, Olongapo, and I found them. Posts, dozens of them. "Beware of Stephanie from Olongapo. She scammed me out of $8,000. Stephanie told me her mother was dying. I sent her $5,000. Then she blocked me." I met Stephanie on a dating app. She said she loved me. I sent her money every month for a year, 10,000 total. Then I saw her Instagram. She's living with her boyfriend. I kept reading. The stories were all the same. The sick mother, the broken roof, the emergencies. She used the same script on everyone. One guy posted screenshots of their messages. Word for word, they matched mine. Another guy posted voice messages, her crying, saying thank you, calling him her angel. It was all a performance. Every tear, every I love you, every Bible verse. I read through the threads. Some of the men were angry, calling her names, threatening to report her. But most of them were just broken. One guy wrote, "I lost my house because of her. My wife left me. I have nothing." Another wrote, "I thought she loved me. I'm 70 years old. I just wanted someone to care." I didn't comment. I didn't add my story. I just read. And I realized something. I was never special. I was just easy. An old man. Alone. Desperate. She saw me coming from a mile away. I sat in my apartment for a week. Just sitting. Staring at the walls. I did the math. Over 18 months, I sent Stephanie $14,000. 14,000. Money I didn't have. Money I borrowed. Money I earned by destroying my body in the Miami heat. I thought about what I gave up. My daughter had a baby last year. A little girl. My granddaughter. Emily called me and asked if I could come visit. The flight was $300. I told her I couldn't afford it. I didn't visit. I didn't meet my granddaughter because I sent that $300 to Stephanie. My doctor called me 6 months ago. He said my blood pressure was dangerous, that I needed to come in, that I needed new medication. The visit was $150. I didn't go. I sent that money to Stephanie. My credit score is ruined. I have 2 payday loans I can't pay back. The interest keeps piling up. I'm going to lose this apartment. I don't know where I'll go. And for what? For a lie. For a girl who never existed. I looked at my phone, at the messages, thousands of them. Her voice messages, her photos, all carefully cropped, carefully angled, carefully designed to break me, and it worked. I thought about all the nights I stayed up talking to her, all the times I felt needed, all the times she called me her angel, and I realized the cruelest part. She gave me exactly what I wanted. She made me feel like a hero, like a man, like someone who mattered, and that's why it worked. I didn't fall for her. I fell for the version of myself she showed me, the man who could save someone, the man who was needed. That man doesn't exist. He never did. I blocked Stephanie on everything. Messenger, WhatsApp, Facebook. I deleted her number. I didn't send a final message. I didn't ask for an apology. I didn't beg for the money back. I just stopped. Days passed. I didn't eat much. I just sat on my couch, staring at the TV, not really watching, just staring. My phone rang. "Emily, Dad, I haven't heard from you in a while. Are you okay?" I almost lied. I almost said I was fine. But I couldn't. Not anymore. "No, I'm not okay." "What's wrong? Are you sick?" "I did something stupid, Emily. Something really stupid." "What happened?" I told her. Everything. The dating app, Stephanie, the money, the lies. I thought she'd yell at me, call me an idiot, hang up, but she didn't. She just listened. And when I was done, she was quiet for a long time. "Dad, I'm so sorry." "You don't have to be sorry. I'm the one who screwed up." "No, I'm sorry you felt that alone, that you didn't think you could talk to me. I didn't want to bother you. You're my dad. You're not a bother." I started crying. I don't cry. I haven't cried in years, but I couldn't stop. "I lost everything, Emily. I don't know what to do." "You didn't lose everything. You still have me, and you still have Lily, your granddaughter. She asks about you all the time. I haven't even met her, so come meet her. Stay with us for a while. We have a guest room. You can figure things out here. I can't afford the flight. I'll buy the ticket. Just come." I didn't argue. I didn't have the energy. A week later, I flew to Orlando. Emily picked me up from the airport. She didn't ask about Stephanie. She didn't bring it up. She just hugged me, and I met Lily, my granddaughter. She's 2 years old. She has Emily's eyes. When she saw me, she smiled. And for the first time in months, I felt something other than shame. I started rebuilding, slowly. I got a part-time job at a hardware store, stocking shelves. It's not much, but it's something. I started seeing a doctor again. My blood pressure is still high, but I'm working on it. I eat real meals now. Emily cooks. We have dinner together every night. I play with Lily. I read her books. I'm still in debt. The payday loans are still there, but I'm making payments. Little by little. I don't check Stephanie's profiles anymore. I don't wonder if she thinks about me, because I know the answer. She doesn't. She never did. And maybe that's the hardest truth, but it's also the one that set me free. I don't forgive her. I don't think I ever will. But I forgive myself for wanting to be needed, for wanting to matter, for believing in something that was too good to be true. I'm not the same man I was before Stephanie. I'm not naive anymore. I'm not hopeful in the same way, but I'm still here, and that's enough.